huh? Okay, I will now be sharing your screen based from what you have passed. So the first to discuss will now unmute himself or herself so that okay, who will first to discuss? Rod, please lead the group. Make your voice louder, please. And please unmute. You are muted.
Sir, wala pa yung magbabasa na, sir. May
It's
sari-sari
okay.
kami pa.
It's okay. You can now start because we are running out of time. Let them discuss the last parts later. Louder, please. We can't hear anything. Rod. Mr. Rivera is in the house already. I think Cedric, please read. Because we can't hear.
Except, kailangan pa mo sir? Open cam?
Oh, sure. Oh, come on. So that we could start.
And an excerpt from Bilbao New York Bilbao.
By
Kirmen Uribe.
Boding.
Oh. Lang, sir. Lang. Hindi ko nabasa. Famous places. Ang tawag dito.
okay, what are those famous places that we are seeing right now? Rod, we can't hear anything. Cedric, please unmute yourself.
Yan, sir. Yung mga famous places na ano. Guggenheim Museum, Bilbao Santiago Cathedral, Ascuna Zento Troya, Moya Square, Plaza Moya. Yun yung mga places na, sir.
They are all located
they are all located
in
wait lang, sir.
to yung mga kagrupo.
Sa ano, sir? Sa New York nakalocate, sir.
Sa New York City?
Apo, sir.
Okay.
Spanish language. Good morning, buenos dias, hi, hola, enjoy your day, disfruta tu dia, good evening, buenas noches, I love you too, te amo.
Any other?
Sir, hindi daw makapagsalita si Rod Allen kasi yung mic niya hindi pwede ata.
Is he using laptop or what?
Kirmen Uribe, a Basque language writer. He won the National Prize Literature in Spain 2009 for his novel Bilbao, New York. Bilbao, New York, Bilbao. Bilbao, New York, Bilbao at 2009.
In.
In
In.
2009. Garmendia and Black Rider in 2015. El Renkin is Natzeko Ordua in 2016.
So those are his
Ano sir, mga ginawa niyang
nobela.
Mga ginawa niyang ano sir?
Stories. Okay.
Stories.
Next. How about Rivera? I think he's in the house already. Can we ask him to read also some parts of your report? Mr. Rivera, are you in the
Unlocking
house?
vocabulary.
Okay.
Yes, sir. I'm in.
Okay. Bring it on.
Unlocking vocabulary. Knit. Unite or cause to unite. Shrivels. Ring, contract or cause to wrinkle and contract, especially due to loss of moisture. Microscopic. So small as to be visible only with microscope. Characters. Liborio, Jose, and grandson Kirmen.
Do you have any definition about them? Who is Liborio?
Liborio. Wait lang, sir.
Okay.
Liborio is sir, yung Liborio tatay ni Jose.
Okay.
Liborio had spent his entire life at sea. Yun lang, sir.
How about Jose?
Jose yung anak niya, sir.
Okay. How about grandson Kirmen? Grandson.
Grandson niya, sir.
Kayo pahalata kayo. Oh. Who would discuss plot of the story?
Hello? Hello?
We can hear you now. Just a bit
Hello, sir.
louder. Oh.
Ano yan, sir?
Oh, it's now your turn.
Sir, wala naman dyan, sir. Di pa nakon yan.
Oh, plot of the story.
Baka ginawa na ni sir.
Sir, di nagawa. Ata.
Hinintay pa lang, sir.
So, hindi lang tumulong ang isa namin.
Okay. So based from what you have read, what is the introduction of the story? Anyone?
He's telling about fish and twist.
Huh? I am very sure that you have also read that story. Am I right? So what happened in the first part of the story?
Ano ba?
Okay, you can have your book and at least glance at it. So it says there in the first line, fish and trees are alike. Why? Why did the author consider fish and trees alike? Do they have any difference? Alike in what way? It's also stated in the second paragraph, which says,
Trees are
Senri,
always
what, Rod? They are alike because what?
they are growing.
Okay, because of their growth rings.
Oh,
Because if you will discover, like when you cut a tree, what do you normally see in its, what do you call that, branch or stem or the trunk? After being cut, there are
Broken.
rings, right? There are rings. And it says here that a year for each ring, and that shows, that's how you know what the tree's age is. So it is based from its rings. So like, for example, you can see there 5 rings, 10 rings. So that's how long that particular tree lived. Then if you are to read the preceding sentence, fish have them too. But in their what? What do the fishes have? They have, in order for them to
food.
survive in water, they
They have
have
life.
Para sila sa
scales.
kailangan.
Okay, they have scales. And just as we do with trees, we know by those growth rings what the animal age is. Okay, so why is it that trees and fish are included in the first or in the introductory part of the story? What are the significance of these two things? Anyone? Based from what you have read, group 1, what's the significance? What is the connection of those trees, of those fish in the story? Ano? Hindi kayo nagbasa, ano?
Lo, sir, paano mo alam?
Wala kayong naisasagot eh. It's very obvious. Come on. What is the significance of the fish, of the tree in the life of the characters in the story? Wala ba? Bakit kaya idinagdag yung trees at saka yung fish sa unang parte pa lang ng story? Wala ba?
Magka-rhyme.
Magka-rhyme? Are they rhymed? You sure of that?
Trees.
Sabi, ano
fish.
ba kasi yung work, sino yung characters natin? Who are our characters? We have,
Say,
sino yung characters natin? Hindi na alam. Liborio, Jose, grandson Kirmen. So what is the work of Liborio? Since he was the
Fisherman.
father. What?
Fisherman.
Okay, fisherman. So that's the answer, right? So the
Yes,
fish
sir.
has a connection to the story because obviously the Liberio was a fisherman. And why was he doing that? In order for them or his family to what?
Survive.
Okay, he's not just doing it for pleasure, but he considered it as a work. Since he wanted his family to, like what you have said, to survive. Oh, how about Jose? What was his primary role in the story? Was he helpful or what?
Not at all. Ay, naka-open mic pa lang.
What was the role of Jose? Is he helping his
Tinutulungan
father?
niya yung tatay niya, sir.
Okay. Tinutulungan niya yung tatay niya. How about grandson Kirmen?
Writer and a poet.
Okay. He's a writer and a poet. So what are the connections of the mural, the paintings in the story? I have read it a while back. Did you read the whole story? Ano yung kaugnayan ng mga paintings, ng mga artwork sa story? Wala.
Sir, ano yung tanong?
Ano yung kaugnayan ng mga paintings, museum, mural sa story? Was that part of the story? Or is it a place wherein they have visited?
Yes, sir. Dinala niya yung daughter-in-law niya para ipakita yung picture.
What particular museum did they go?
Fine arts.
Museum of Fine Arts.
Okay, it's in Bilbao Fine Arts Museum. Tama?
Yes, sir.
So what did they encounter there?
Same painting yung pinaint niya, sir.
Same? Anong same painting? Who is Jose Julian Baquedano in the story?
Yun, sir.
Sinong yon? So one of the museum's curator. Okay, tagapag-alaga. So in the museum, though it's hung as a triptych, in the very center is the representation of an outing to a country fair. That's the largest of the pieces. And on the
Yes, sir.
outer wings come the two other pictures. One is of a woman of the era posed just like a Renaissance Venus. The other is of a young couple talking with each other in the shade of a tree. So if we are to look to the paintings wherein they have visited, especially in the Bilbao Fine Arts Museum, you could really see how these pictures picture what they have before. Like for example, were you able to visit a museum then? Who among you here in this class, UMS A and UMS B11, were you able to visit a museum? Anyone?
Sa Minecraft, sa ano, sir? Sa Manila.
Oh, what did you see? What did you encounter in that museum?
Mga ano, sir? Mga lumang gamit. Mga kailangan, yung mga kagamitan ng mga
Unang panahon.
unang tao.
Okay. I was able also to visit in Bataan. Napunta na ba kayo doon? Nagawin na ba kayo sa
Di-
Bataan?
Napadaan.
Okay, in the Dambana ng Tagitingan. So actually, in that particular place, you could see the stuff like like what you have said, the things that they have used during the World War II. And they have also a story that that particular place, there were many lives who really gave in to that particular war. And don't you know that Bataan is one of the memorable places because Bataan was was held the what we call anong tawag na doon? Yung Death March, di ba? Nakalimutan ko na yung kung saan sila nanggaling pero Bataan was the I think yung
Nueva
patutunguhan nila.
Ecija, sir.
Are you sure? From Nueva Ecija to Bataan? Okay, basta Bataan yung isa
Medyo,
doon.
sir.
Okay. If you are also to visit in Ilocos Sur, right?
Yes,
Sino
sir.
nang napunta doon? Di ba may museum doon? It's all about the preserve animals like the polar bear and everything. Okay. Also in the story, there is also a differentiation between women before and women of today. Actually, they have encountered that in the story. So it's all about women before and women of today. We're in like here in the Philippines. What are the common clothes that they were wearing before? Okay, during the time of Spanish. Can someone recall the clothes
Retro.
being worn during those times? They are using
Clothes.
what kind of clothes? We have the
Sandogan. Retro.
di ba kayo yung batch na gumamit noon nung panyo
Retro, sir.
banquet?
Retro. Ay,
Gown. Gown, sir.
Is it gown?
Nakabansa to.
Oh, we call that as patadyong, di ba? Oh, patadyong for women. But for men, we have the what?
Jack.
Barong Tagalog.
Barong
Okay.
Tagalog.
If we are to compare, like before, their clothes was below the ankle or below the knee. Okay, that's what
Below the belt.
they were wearing before. And at present, of course, yung tinatawag nilang nagtipid. Okay, do you get the term? Nagtipid because they are already wearing above the knee. Okay. So that's how the era or the period wherein we are living right now. Okay. If before they were very simple, now they are competing with the fashion, with the clothes they are wearing, and of course, for the social acceptance. Okay. Because like today, if you're still wearing patadyong, something like that, of course you will be the reason why they will be laughing. Okay, that is why there are really cultures we need to preserve. Okay, like in the story. So at the last part of the story, it says here, to find out fish's age, you need to count the growth rings on the scales and add 1 year. When they're larvae, fish don't have any scales. In the case of eels, you have to add 4 years since eels spend 4 years as larvae. They likewise need 4 years to cross the Atlantic. The tiny elvers make the trip from Sargasso Sea to the Bay of Biscay in that much time. My plane will cover the same distance in 7 hours. I'll be taking a flight to New York on this very day from Bilbao Airport. Okay?
Yes, sir.
So the introduction or the exposition part and the denoma, okay? We call that denoma, not denomen. I'm now correcting it. So the denoma and the exposition of the story was a bit related, okay? Because of the growth rings and the fish, okay, the fish age. Okay, can you please, group 1, can you please give us the overall picture and the lesson that you have learned from this story before we end? Anyone from the group? The overall
Yes, sir.
picture. Oh, come on.
Lesson.
Oh, what's with the lesson?
We learn a lot, sir.
Like what?
Like fish
Like-
and
Aba.
tree.
Kirmen Uribe. Learn about
About?
Kahit tumatawa, seryoso kasi.
About? It. Your presentation will be uploaded later on. So please be serious.
Uy, seryoso kasi.
Yes, sir.
Oh, what then?
We learn about. Yes.
Okay, this will be the last. It is not uncommon for various art forms to mix and create new interactions. The result of these interactions are fascinating. A stage play with dance performances, a dance where performers also sing, like the cultural dance Putungan from Mindoro, a film where poetic pieces are also read, like Ang Sayaw ng Dalawang Kaliwang Paa, directed by Alvin Yapan, and many more. Another example is A Portrait of the Artist as Filipino, which is a play written by Nick Joaquin. In the play, a painting is central to the story. So we could also see in the as a big picture in the story about the relationship of paintings. Okay, since they were manifested in each paragraph of the story. So they are recounting their experience to that particular museum. And of course, they were fascinated because of the murals. Okay, because when we say murals, like what we have as an activity in the first, the combination of Maria Clara and what's the other one? The Dato Paobari one. Okay, so that's an example of mural painting. Okay, shall we now wrap it up? So group 1, since you did not present well this afternoon, I want you to give me the plot of the story in written form. So any one of you will pass so that I can really get the gist of what you have reported, okay? With IFL means provide me a verse from the Bible that will be connected to the overall plot of the story. Okay?
Yes,
Okay.
So
sir.
do you have still any question sa mga nag-attend po sa atin ngayon?
Wala na daw, sir.
So if it's still unclear for those who have attended for this afternoon, I want you to reread the story. Okay, that's how we understand things. If we did not understand something, then we should reread it. Okay, that's what we call close reading to get the gist of the story. Because sometimes uh, it's just but our laziness that dictates us not to read it. Okay, but if we find that story fascinating and we can learn something from it, So please, I am encouraging everyone to read the story excerpt from Bilbao to New York Bilbao City. Okay? So I'm reminding as well the preceding group, like the group 3, to please, okay? I don't want this to happen again. Okay? Telling a story without the plot. Because I am not grading myself here, okay? I am grading you. That is why this is for you, okay? This is not for me. Okay, is it clear? Those who have attended our meeting for this afternoon, is it clear? Make it sure that when you present,
Yes,
make
sir.
it the best of you, okay? Because that will reflect your character. Oh, like, diba, Senric?
Yes, sir.
Ano, sir?
Okay, at least I congratulate you for the first part of your story. That was very good, actually. Okay,
Thank you, sir.
but since
You're
you did
welcome.
not really push through with the second half of your presentation, so please give to me the overall plot and the IFL later on. Okay, so congratulations, Group 1 so far.
Yes,
Okay, and
sir.
I'm challenging the other groups to please do your best. Okay, so that I will be inspired as well to continue teaching you. Mag-grade 12 na po kayo. Alam niyo yan. So pag ganyan pa lang kayo, pag grade 12 na kayo, ay nako,
Okay, sir.
hindi po kayo papasa sa subject ko. Okay?